Are you going to let me do my humidimeter this time at least?
I'm Kevin.
I'm Kerr.
And I'm Jess.
And this is the I'd Tap That Cigar Show presented by Corona Cigar. Welcome to another exciting show. As always, I am your host, Kevin from Cigar Prop, and I'm coming to you live. I screwed that up. We changed this last week, and I forgot to write it down. And now I was halfway through, and I realized that. Either way, I am coming to you live from the Drew Estate Experience Acid Studios here on the sunny Gulf Coast of Florida. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Kerr Viajante of Stogie Road Cigars. Kerr, how was the sound this week? Remember when we blasted everybody last week?
Sounds good.
Sounds good?
Yeah, it sounds really good.
All right, so right on.
And I'm doing okay. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome. It's only show number 2. I changed the beginning. I shouldn't have, and now it's just we've been doing the same beginning for like a year.
I blame the producer.
Speaking of producer background, joining us is producer Jessica.
Hello.
Kerr, we got some fantastic news today.
Yes.
What news did we receive?
I'm gonna let you do it because you do a better job of explaining it. Because
Charlie Half Wheel, the consensus list came out today, and we did not make the top 25, but we scored 11 points for the Silent Green number 3 on the Half Wheel consensus list. And you know how many points the Opus X scored? 0. The Opus X got 0 points.
I think they got 9.
I was told 0. Jen said 0.
Don't listen to Jen. I looked at the spreadsheet.
Either way, Opus X got less than us. And I'm not saying anything against Opus X. There was so many cigars below us. There was like 50 cigars below us. I mean, there was a lot above us too. I'm not gonna lie. There wasn't like just 26 above us.
I think I think the highest count was like 200 or 300 and some. So there's a big stretch between 300 and 11. However, there are numbers lower than 11.
That's it. There are people low. So it's exciting to actually have a cigar make it on a list. Really didn't make it. It made it on a spreadsheet that was used to make this list.
This is the cigar that made the list that was used to make the top 10 list we were not on.
So right on. And I don't know if you caught it. Vice versa. Our
yes.
Cigar with Fratello Cigars that drops in 2 weeks. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but he's told me not to say it. And if anybody knows me in this industry, if you want me to say something, you got to say, don't say that at least 3 times.
Even that doesn't work.
So, even that doesn't work. So that drops in 2 weeks. So I'm super stoked because that has a chance of making a lot of top 10 lists next year twice, one for either end. That's what I want to be like the first cigar that makes somebody's top 24 list twice. Like that's usually not possible.
You can make 4.
So
you can make 4. 1 full cigar from one end, 1 full cigar from the other, then cut it in half and eat half.
Yeah. That's pretty good, Kerr. Don't get my hopes up. I'm just going to go with twice. All right. But speaking of cigars, I need a cigar. So let's get right into it with the CigarMedics Humidimeter Cut and Light. Remember, with the CigarMedics Humidimeter, you'll always know when to hold them and know when to smoke them. I'm using the new CigarMedics Humidimeter Pro. And
I thought you
have the
used
old
to
one.
say you know when to cut them.
no, no one to hold them, and no one to
I
smoke
don't know
them.
why I thought you said.
What's that? I thought you're the producer. Aren't you supposed to produce this
Listen,
stuff?
That's
I don't know,
it.
Kevin's off a little bit. So he's putting me off.
63.3%, which is fantastic because this cigar has been sitting in Jessica's humidor for quite some time now.
Is that a lesser
It was in
humidor?
It was in a
It was
Tupperware.
Thank you.
So, Kerr, what is your cigar?
Mine is coming in at 62%.
Right on. And what are you smoking tonight?
I'm smoking the Silent Green number 3.
Right on. I am smoking the Gurkha Revenant from the Smoke In Cigars 2021 Advent Calendar. So the cigar has got some age on it, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I do on occasion like a Gurkha cigar. I love Gurkha Cigar Wani, and this cigar will actually take us into our first little segment with Abe. But Jessica, what are you smoking?
I am smoking a cigar from Illusione called Cigars Privé, if that's how you say it.
Privé. So the Cigars Privé.
But, this was also from the 2021 Smokin' Advent Calendar. So I shared with Kevin. Now you cannot have any more after this.
Yeah, now I also saw the few other cigars that I'm like, you haven't smoked that yet? And she's like slapping my hand away.
Leave me alone.
If you haven't smoked that Sin Compromiso by now, I'm just going to take it.
No, you're not.
So now she's got to hide it.
That's hilarious.
So all right. So before we bring on our guest, I got to turn that light on. I'm a little dark tonight. I readjusted my overhead LEDs, and there we go. I think it's a little brighter now. All right. So before we bring on our guest tonight, we want to take a moment to thank all of our show partners for making this happen each and every week. JC Newman Cigars, CigarMedics, Amendola Cigars, We Are the Muscle, Veritas Cigars, Illusione Cigars, deep in flavor, deep in your mind, K by Karen Berger Cigars, Corona Cigar, and of course Drew Estate and Experience Acid. I didn't have our opener lined up here. There we go. So, waiting patiently in the Experience Acid Green Room is host of KMA Talk Radio's show. Once again, I need what Abe does. He just needs to talk, and we let the producer do all the work. I need Alex. And
Jess.
along with Jessica.
No,
oh
he
my
is
God.
really doing well tonight. Woo!
Dude, I'm just sitting here. I ain't gonna say that.
Host of KMA Talk Radio and owner of Smoke In Cigars, Honest Abe Dababneh. Oh, you're muted. You mute yourself, Abe.
I just need. I'm muted. Sorry.
Abe always makes me nervous. You always do. I know we're friends, but you have your own show, so I feel like you're always judging me.
No, I would never judge, but I will comment. Why don't you mic up Jess?
So I just when she talks
because he wants Alex.
I turn my mic around. So when we get the new studio built and we'll be broadcasting from behind our bar, it'll kind of be like two guys, the Cigar Authority podcast. She'll always be on screen with me, but she'll have her own laptop, her own mic.
Yeah.
So it'll be the two of us on screen with Kerr. So, and then she'll get to chime in whenever she wants. So,
Kevin, you told me it was because she's mic'd all day long, so you just want
Yeah.
this couple-hour break of her
Yeah.
not being mic'd.
yeah, that's it.
And there you have it.
So how you doing, Honest Abe?
Churning away, man. It's that time of year.
It is that time of year for sure. Before we get to, we got a couple things we're talking about before we get to that time of the year, the Great Smoke. Let's start off with Brandy's Cookies. How's the business coming along? Is
Cookies.
She don't want to do it.
God,
She don't want to do it. Breaks my heart, man. She don't want to do it.
Then she had I know she's got friends that do like Etsy pages. Someone's got to convince her.
Listen, all I needed to do is just help with the cookies. I do everything else. She didn't want to do it.
Man,
and I can't blame her. She feels she's got a lot going on. We got the 4 kids and whatnot, but I mean, maybe when I get past the Great Smoke, we'll have to see if I just steal that recipe and go to a food packer and see if it can be recreated in a food packer. I bought a bunch here. Didn't tell anybody who made it. They all went nuts.
Yeah,
they really did. They all went nuts. In fact, they've been bothering me to bring back more. And I'm just telling you, I don't like in the world of cookies. Like oatmeal's the bottom of my list. Like
yeah,
I have formative cookies. Oatmeal will never be the one I'll tell you to give me or I want, but it's the cookie I'll take over any other cookie. I don't know what she does to it, but she makes it awesome.
So here's what you got to do is get with Evan Darnell. His son. They do the cookies for charity like a couple times a year and say, hey, Brandy, let's do team up with Red Meat Lovers Club and just do a batch for charity. And then maybe when she sees it all over online,
I don't think she's worried. I think that's maybe what she's intimidated by the success, and all of a sudden, I don't know, but it's one of those things. You can't force me to do it, but I'll revisit it after the Great Smoke. Yeah. She doesn't mind sharing the recipe. She doesn't mind if I use the name. So
okay, and I'm just wondering how hard that would be. Like I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like going to a place and asking.
There are food packers. They specialize in that. If you ever watch Shark Tank or anything, you have this home thing. You start cooking, it takes off, and you can't keep up with production. You go take your recipe to a food packer. They'll actually do everything. They'll even package it for you. You coordinate the whole thing, bring you the delivered finished product, which then you sell or transport or ship.
Oh, okay, that's actually
you make less margin, obviously, but it's very effective and efficient. For a lot of small places.
Yeah, it's kind of like people that use like Printful and stuff to do T-shirts. Like I said, you make $2 instead of $5, but
right.
You don't have.
Food packers are a very, very common thing, and most people don't even know when they're getting their product from a food packer.
Yeah, that's I never knew that was. I knew that was like a thing on a grand scale, like Otis Spunkmeyer, and his cookies and stuff like that. But on a smaller scale, I didn't know that.
Bigger companies will tend to just make their own stuff.
Yeah.
They'll want more control over it. Food packers is like anything else. You don't get a good one, they screw up your whole batch and quality control. So bigger companies will tend to do it in house. It's made more for smaller to mid-size.
Yeah. And quality control, I'm sure there's no problem with that. Getting the quality control out of there. Yeah, God.
Yeah. But it's a very big business. So there are places that have great reputations.
Yeah.
Like a cigar factory, Kev. If you have your own cigar recipe and we're making your own cigars, you have someone else make it.
That's it. Kerr, how many oatmeal cookies do you have to quality control before you don't want oatmeal cookies anymore?
Probably right close to the break-even mark. That's the reason why I wouldn't be the quality control guy.
Speaking of Brian, I got to re-up on a bacon order soon.
Yeah. Oh my God, that
the
bacon
best.
was the so good, and then like the
best.
It absolutely is. I don't. Yeah, he needs to. I don't know if he could scale that up, but that's a time-consuming thing right there. But that's crazy. He sent us some of that like a year ago.
Ruined bacon forever from any other place for me.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
What's this bacon you speak of?
Oh,
Ryan from the Rocky Mountain Cigar Show makes the best bacon I've had.
Yeah, normally when I get stuff in, Kerr, I send it to you, but it was bacon. I mean,
it's hard to get that bacon away, man.
It's hard to ship it. It's hard to ship it back across the country. So
yeah, I'm sure.
But I get it at work, and some of my employees look. I'm like, okay, here's a pack for you.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Yeah, you bring in like just 6 strips. And this is all you moochers get. Split it up.
I get the bar of soap, but I get skipped on the bacon.
Yeah, that's it. I sent you the soap. Be grateful. No,
I smell good. I just I'd rather smell like bacon.
Same here. So all right, we're gonna dive into our first topic for tonight, and then we'll go right into the Great Smoke. I know it's what you're here to promote. You haven't promoted it enough lately for the Great Smoke. Hopefully, I've got some questions for the Great Smoke that you haven't been asked 100 times yet. But
well, I'll tell you right now, there's some names I don't recognize here that are watching. So, I mean, with something like this, it's just a numbers game. We're trying to educate, especially since it changed a couple of years ago. Went to live and virtual, and it became a little bit more complicated of an event. And I figure probably in year 3 or 4, the majority will finally have grasped exactly how it works. But
yeah, exactly. So hopefully we'll get the get the word out, and then at least on the podcast side as well, get that out this week, because the podcast people don't tend, they're like a little bit more tuned out sometimes on some of the industry news that when I talk to people that only listen to podcasts. So hopefully we'll reach some of those people.
Hey Kevin, before you get started, I wanted to say one thing to Abe. Congratulations on that 2022 Advent calendar. We got one. That was a great package.
Thank you.
Everything, the coin, the Christmas coin, the cigar selection. I think I probably got through the Advent calendar before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was going to ask because you were smoking them quick.
I was sending Kevin pictures, and I'm just like, it looked like there was bacon in there, but it was great selections. It was great.
Well, unfortunately, I think we still have some boxes left, so that packaging will be the same for 2023. Probably in 2024, we'll have to find something new. But I have something.
But it's awesome.
I have something we haven't even talked about yet, and I'm not ready to talk about. But even another big release for holiday time is coming up this year. So
that's great.
We're already in the works and the packaging and everything, and I think it's gonna. I don't want to say dwarf the Advent calendar, but I think it might outshine it a little bit.
Oh,
I've been to cigar shops. I've seen other Advent calendars, and just the packaging. Whether you have that through the year 2030, it's awesome. It is so unique, and just I remember you telling us a story behind it, but it was just so freaking great. And the cigar selection was outstanding.
It was our first one, so you learn a little bit more when you do stuff like that. You're like, oh, that was a bad idea. So this kind of next little project we got going on, I think the packaging is going to be over the top and people are going to be blown away. So I think when we come back in 2024, you'll be shocked because we already kind of planned what we wanted to do, but I got these nice boxes I just don't want to throw out. So, we're gonna probably use them one more year.
So 2024, so I don't have to worry about having a smoke-in Stonehenge of boxes in my living room.
That's it. Hey, Ron, while you're in China, download our podcast. I don't think that we have any China listeners yet. So just do me that favor. And then what was I just gonna say on not the Advent calendar? I'm sorry. I know completely. Oh, I called you like a month ago, Abe. Remember we had that talk like it was 9:00 at night. You working on that project yet?
Shit, I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, it was text me. I'm not sure. I got a lot of things going on at once. I talked to a lot of people. I'm not sure which one it is.
Okay, I'll text you after the show.
Yeah. Anything else you want to bring up we can't talk about, Kev?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, is there anything else? So, all right, so we're going to get in our first topic for the night. And I'm smoking, like I said earlier, the Gurkha Revenant here tonight. Cigar Wani, Juan Lopez, what an absolute fantastic guy. Gurkha is kind of like the I don't even want to say redheaded stepchild because it's 2023 and we never know what we can say or not say anymore. But they get beat up. They get beat up in the industry. They get made fun of. And another group of people that get teased a lot, I don't want to say teased, but lambasted over the last year, cigar influencers. I mean, it is brutal. Every day we're opening up Facebook and there's just someone else, just out of the blue for no reason, cigar influencers. I don't know. I know it is like this time of year when all the lists come out, a lot of people get all, every person with the phone thinks that they're a reviewer and they have the qualifications to create a YouTube channel and by God, make their own list. And I'm like, who cares? Who cares? People just do what they do. You, as someone that's worked with a lot of content creators, I mean, any thoughts on that?
You know, I don't know if anybody we currently work with I would call an influencer. And this is just my personal opinion, so I'm probably going to upset some people here now, but I don't know. The word influencer for me just even has a negative almost.
Does it?
It does. It's kind of got a bad taste. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It's not a word I would use as a positive thing because I just feel like it's a car salesman then, you know? I mean, we as an organization and as a culture, without a doubt, have influencers, right? But they're our patrons, right? Where they're not, they don't get anything. They're not looking to make anything. They don't get paid, but yet we see it every day. They're out there influencing. So for me, that's the right kind of influencing, right? I mean, your actions and what you do every day is the course of your business. That should be influencing people. I don't. I mean, let me ask you: do you listen to an influencer in any other industry or field?
Yes.
I mean, there's three men on here right now, and I can tell you, I don't.
I mean, I guess it would be to what you consider an influencer. You know, for me, it's any content creator that influences my buying decision to make something. So there are people on TikTok, like electricians, handymen, when they're using a product, and you know, whether it's a drywall hole saw, it's these new electrical connectors, you know, they're technically influencers, and I have bought things. So yeah, and that's what
I guess you got to really define what you're considering an influencer to be, because if you're getting paid, and I'm not really in love with this brand, I'm just getting paid to talk about it. And as soon as they stop paying me, I love whoever else pays me.
Right.
To me, that's not that's what an influencer is.
Oh, okay.
Right. That's what my job is, to influence people based on being compensated.
Yes.
You
they're believable enough to influence people, whether they believe in the brand or not.
Or whatever reason, people follow them and like their opinion, but their opinion is not really based on how they feel. It's just based on who's paying them. Right. So for me, that's like, you know, it's like car salesman. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I don't know. But like, if you're educating people, if you're promoting it, if, you know, both you guys are in the cigar universe. So if you say something that you really think, man, I really like this cigar that this guy made, whatever, and if that influences people, I don't consider you an influencer.
Okay.
You know, that's a different kind of scenario, you know.
But
do you have influence? Yes. Will you be influencing? Yes. Are you what I would call an influencer? Not really.
But I think what's interesting too, Abe, you bring up a good point, is a lot of folks who are in that position wouldn't consider themselves an influencer because they're being just honest and being, like you said, educating and so on. I've learned over the last several years too, I think the word influencer has got a bad connotation because folks will use it as a term on describing themselves, and a lot of them are just out to try and get free cigars and free product for themselves, and really don't even care about the influence, because you see them jump from product to product, and it's the payment, whatever that payment may be, like you said earlier, whether it's money, free cigars. So they try and use that term influencer in order to strike some sort of reaction to get paid or get some free stuff. And at the end of the day, the only thing they're really influencing is their friends who are smoking whatever they're getting for free.
I mean, if you can still get paid and influence people, but not be an influencer, like a perfect example, you know, KMA Talk Radio, we're 12, 13, 14 years now, I forget. But, you know, we've had sponsors every year, manufacturers. And I've criticized some of my sponsors on the show because they did something stupid, in my opinion, or something I just don't agree with. And I've gotten calls from the past. I say, hey, listen, my business relationship with you doesn't have anything to do with my KMA relationship with you. I'm a broadcaster here talking to the public, and here we do business. Don't don't confuse this. And honestly, no one's ever really given me that much a hard time. Like, come on, why'd you? Because it is silly. I mean, if I would tell it to you, I would tell it to anybody. And if you sat in my office, I would say it to your face. That's silly, you know? So does KMA radio take paid advertising? Yeah. Do I consider that, like, you know, influencing what I'm going to say and do? Not really.
It's advertising.
It's just advertising is what helps fund the show.
Yeah.
That's it. And you, and like I said, and I always, you know, look to you because I think you as a business owner, nobody has embraced like the cigar content creator more than you. I mean, you've worked with the biggest and you've worked with the smallest. It's insane.
I don't know why. Just very early on, I'm going back to pre-2010, you know, when it was still really not that popular. Facebook still wasn't that popular. I mean, I think MySpace was still around back then and whatnot. And there were a couple guys that were in this industry early on, and I just thought that was a great way to communicate directly with the people. And we used to support a lot of them. Unfortunately, I think maybe 4 or 5 of them still exist from back then, maybe less, 3. But my deal with them, whenever I would sponsor them or support them or buy advertising from them, was I would always do it where it would renew every May 1st. So if you got me in the middle of the year, you're billing me for a half a year, and then May 1st, because I didn't want to have to deal with all these renewals multiple times a year. So at May 1st, and I think at one point, I'm going back minimum 14 years ago, right? I think at one point we had 16 people. 14 people. And I mean, these are guys, if I told you the names of them, if I could remember something, you'll never even heard of them. They're gone. They're gone. You have to have been in this industry a long time to know some of these names. But they were big at the time. And we were doing 16 of them. And it was just always we found it very beneficial for us. It was a great way because everybody has their own little universe, macrocosm. And these are guys who were able to develop their own universe really before social media even took off yet. And just always been fond of it. And then I started KMA Radio, and then I know there was another radio show that kind of guys who are our fans spun off and did their own show. I think it was in Atlanta. And then one of the guys died. I can't remember the name of the show. But we just always been supportive of other shows. We always believed, my philosophy has always been, anything that helps spread the awesomeness of our culture and lifestyle is a positive thing.
Yeah.
That's how we look at it.
And that's what it should be. And Steve had made a comment earlier, a long one there. And at the end, does it seem sincere?
Yeah.
And that's the big one. Does it seem sincere? For example, I had a consumer who loved DTT until we had to let a rep go who was a personal friend. He instantly started hating DTT, went out of his way to MF me and our cigars in every post where anyone mentioned DTT. That is, yeah. But yeah, it's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
Someone just they'll follow a rep, or they'll follow, a blender. They'll follow somebody, associated, and they'll never smoke that cigar again. They move on and move with that company or move with that person to the next company. It's set. So how do you, when you had 16, how did, especially back then,
it was only digital. Nobody was doing podcasts back then. They had review sites, they had content sites, news sites.
Oh, okay.
This is back before Half Wheel, when Charlie was in another thing. I forgot what it was even called. Before he merged with another thing, and they made two different sites got together and made Half Wheel. I forgot what that was. But it wasn't video content. It was mostly an ad or something they give us on their page where they did reviews and stuff like that. And, to answer some of these people's questions, I mean, yeah, everybody's an influencer. My comment here is I'm not a fan of just that word in particular, because me personally, that word almost has a negative connotation. So, how I look at influencers in the way I kind of explained it. So I think they should come up with a more, I don't know, positive name.
Juan Cancel likes to call some of them promoters instead of influencer. He hates that term. Influencer.
For some reason, you know what? I never knew he felt that way too. But promoter even sounds better than an influencer. Influencer just means like you're just trying to, I don't know.
How often do you get hit up? Because like I said, people will reach out to me, other influencers, people, content creators. Hey, I see Abe's working with, say like Ryan at Rocky Mountain now. Ryan's pretty small. I'm bigger than Ryan. How do I get something from Abe? I'm like, first of all, call Abe. Don't put me in the middle of it. I'm not, because I can. I mean, Abe, have I ever called you and be like, hey, a friend of mine? No, I don't. I don't do that.
But it's really that simple half the time. I mean, that's literally how we started advertising with Ryan. He reached out to me. He's just starting out. He was in his backyard. And I just gave him some tips. I was like, look, dude, you could do very little to accentuate the quality look of your show.
Yeah,
the background trailer in the backyard at one point, I was like, you do very little to really just make it a more credible show, whatever. And, we worked with him and we became friends. We're more than just now, a business relationship. We're really friends. He's coming down to the Great Smoke for the first time this year, so I get to meet him face to face for the first time. I'm excited about it. And now we're basically now his like main sponsor of the show. He had a couple people drop out, or I think one big company drop out. He was really depressed and bummed out about it. He's a good, hardworking guy. So you know what? I said, don't worry about it. You just made it up. It was that simple. Yeah. Look. People are what you guys do, and believe me, Kevin, you've probably found a way to monetize it better than most. There are some people who do this day in and day out and really either one, aren't that driven to be monetized it, or haven't figured it out and still go through the churn and have a real job and do other stuff, And how do you not try to support that if they're putting out any kind of halfway decent quality show?
All right, good night, Steve.
Steve's always mean to crash the party. Steve's so full of shit. He crashes every party.
Steve pulls the pin on the grenade and then just walks away. Let's see how that goes. So how do you quantify what you're paying for somebody? Say they come to you. I mean, hey, I've been doing this. I want more money. Do you ask for analytics? How do you quantify what you're paying, or is it you've just been doing it long enough? You're just like, I know.
Listen, if the guys are that savvy, they could pull down the analytics and show you real data. It definitely has value. But most of the guys I've ever dealt with, even like Eric Gunderson from Cigar Jojo, we actually end up interacting with them so early in the stage. There is no analytics. There is no data. So, honestly, half the time I just say, well, what do you want? That's the easiest question to ever ask anybody. What is it you're looking for? If it's a reasonable request, usually we'll do it. If it's not reasonable, I tell them, okay, well, I'm willing to do this. And that's how it pans out. It's a very simple and honest conversation,
Yeah, so here's a perfect one. I mean, people have said this to me before, Jessica, how much is Dunbarton, or they got to be paying you quite a bit. Steve says it right here. For 2 years, Steve has been asking me for a way to, for Dunbarton to advertise and support with him. And I keep refusing his cash. I do.
There's somebody else too.
You. I don't,
For a long time, and Kevin just said, because everybody thinks that we have a business, not other than me buying your product.
Yeah.
Sponsor your show, and I've tried. Kevin has no room for us.
He said eventually.
But yeah, I still support Kevin in any way I can. I love what he does. I love the show.
That's it. And there are certain relationships I don't want money to get between. It's because like I said, there are times, and I've said it, in my videos, I'll go to my humidor and I won't know what to smoke that night. And then I go through my mental, like, who do I owe a cigar pic to, a picture to? Who do I owe a cigar or an Instagram or a story? And I'm just looking down and I'm like, I don't really want to smoke the cigar. I want to smoke a Dunbarton tonight, but I don't ever want to have to owe Steve a photo. I don't ever want to have to owe you a photo. I just do it because you guys are good. I mean, look at the Connoisseur Club. The Connoisseur Club takes up, well, I mean, not when it was ended last month. I mean, that was 12 hours or so, 12 to 15 hours a month. I mean, that was a lot of work, but I did it because I loved it. I had fun. Great product.
I will say, I think you were actually sad the last cigar. Like
It was.
It was hard for Kevin to let go.
Yeah.
Because he really enjoys dissecting, and you're really into that, like doing the review, like going through and doing the point system.
And I never wanted money to get involved with that,
But
For the record, Kevin signed up and paid for the membership.
Yeah.
Kevin signed up, paid for the membership.
I do also want to say too, I think early on, what you're kind of not saying, Kevin, because you're just being you, like with Steve and with Abe and everything, it was just fine to feel that way. But I feel like you also just want to smoke what you like too. So it's not about owing anyone anything. You just like smoking cigars, and that's what you wanted to continue to do, and you didn't want to feel obligated to one beholding cigar person or maker.
Yeah, that's why I've had brands approach me in the past and be like, we want to be your brand. Like, that's it. And I'm like, get out of here. Like that is not, because like I said, there have been some guys that have fell into that trap, and it'll ruin you. I mean, you look at that large chunk of money up front, you're like, man, that is a ton of money. And then you just don't see long term, where that goes.
I think somebody mentioned it earlier, but I think the main thing, the way how I look at like the influencers or not, and it just comes down to being genuine. You can tell when someone's genuine. When you could tell someone's not really genuine about something, that's what I would like consider like those are influencers.
What's funny is I started doing a show. It would have been 7 years ago in April. I started doing a show, and we did it for about 5 years, and I never did advertising. I never took money. I just did it because I love doing it. I love promoting cigar shops. I love promoting cigars and introducing folks to boutique and different cigars that they may not have, been aware of. And then when Kevin called me and asked me, and Kevin and I had become friends by then, a couple of years ago. And when he asked me to be a co-host on the show, I always respected, and I love the fact that Kevin his show's able to do what I was doing, but also find a way to monetize it and still keep that reputable, honorable way about the show. And I've heard people, and I've had friends, I wouldn't call them friends anymore, but I have people that would say, and they badmouth Kevin, and I was like, and I knew the real Kevin, and I would hear what they would say, and it was all BS, and it was all BS because I think that they were the antithesis of what Kevin was doing. And when you have someone like that, I just kind of disassociate myself, wash my hands of it. And Kevin and I talked, and I was like, listen, I just want to be the co-host of your show. It's your show. I want to be here, be a great part of this, because I really love what he's doing. And I honestly believe it's the best and most genuine show that's out there. I'm a little biased.
Yeah.
Kevin, Cash App, it came through perfect. I said all the words right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just speak from my experience with hosting a show every night and doing it just because I love doing it, and to be able to see his passion, his commitment. I've never seen anybody, and I felt lazy when I first got his show notes. I never seen anybody do more research and more work on every not one show with Abe or one show with Steve. Every single fucking show that is done, there is hours and hours of research that is done behind to make it the best show for the folks that are watching.
He's sending us show notes during our show live. Hey, you need to ask him about this. And unfortunately, my phone is different. I'm watching it.
Thanks,
on
Bill.
my phone and whatever. I don't see it till after the show half the time.
Yeah.
So,
so now I just send it to Alex.
Yeah.
So speaking of your show, Abe, we had Matt Booth on last week, and we happened to be chatting about KMA, and I'm like, I really dig your guys' new format, and he was unaware that you guys had a new format, and we haven't talked about it, but because I was telling him, I said, you guys screwed me, because I was commenting for an hour on the Matt Booth show like a month ago, and then it was like 3/4 of the way through. I'm like, son of a bitch, this is a replay.
That's hilarious.
So, but yeah, why the new format? I love it, but why'd you switch up the formats on the show?
Because you just have to evolve. When I started this 14 years ago, whatever it was, I think I can only really think of 2 other people that were doing any kind of a broadcast. And I don't even know if one of those guys is really still doing anything in the cigar related world, but so having people on was a real treat. Coming to the Great Smoke is a real treat for a lot of people, right? We have actually multiple people now who come from Alaska. No one's going to do a cigar event in Alaska.
Yeah, no.
Right? It's just not happening. There's not jumping Juneau in extravaganza. So, it's a treat for them to come and actually meet these principals when they come to the Great Show. And that's kind of what, back in the day when we started this, we're like, look, I used to have 200 people come to a simple cigar event. I do one every month, except in the hot summer months. And over 200 people come every one because they didn't get this opportunity to really get to know principals. So that was that time for them to really meet them, share time. If they met them at the last event, they get to meet them again. Now they already have a little bit of rapport. And it was very pertinent. And what we did now, we actually probably have been talking for about 2 years about trying to change this up. Part of it was scary. Well, shit, if we don't have a guest on the show, what the fuck are we going to talk about for 2 hours? You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
that helps move shit along, So part of it was scary. We just didn't know if we would hold weight or water. And then after COVID, it just got really worse. Guys are just like everywhere now. They became more open. So even if you get a rare guy like a Pete Johnson or Carlito, they're doing IGs and podcasts. Carlito's got his own show now. So that whole universe of what we were trying to give our audience just disappeared now. It's just too readily available of a commodity. And after 14 years, I think we developed a fun relationship with our fans where it's not even about that. Look, if I look back at doing shows, there are shows where I'll have a great guest and it was a great show for me. And there are shows where I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, wow, can I really stretch it another 40 minutes?
I have
right?
been there. I have been there looking at that clock.
So, and sometimes that segment was the most uninteresting part of the show. We'll be laughing, talking about everywhere else, and then we get a guy on and it just go wallpaper. So we just decided just to make it we're going to hang out show. And that's kind of what it became. And I think it's been well received. No one's complained. And then what we can do is I think we're going to have some guests on. I think next week we're having Michael Herclock on. When there's something specific to talk to somebody about, something going on, we'll bring a guest on.
Yeah, because how many times can you interview Pete Johnson, with nothing new going on in his life? How many more questions can you ask Pete?
Right? And really, even if I had Pete on once a year, right? Once a year, what's he going to talk about? One new release that may have come out that year, and then what are you going to do for the rest of the day? Talk about everything you've ever talked about with him. I've been doing this 14 years. Pete's had been on the show almost a dozen times.
Yeah.
So, there are newer people to our industry, and there's plenty of people out there that are getting them that information of manufacturers, but we're just going to go to more of a cigar lifestyle culture show. And when we have guests, we'll have guests.
Yeah, I like it. I've been digging it since I was wondering how it was going to go, but since the first episode, I haven't noticed. I haven't at the end of the show, I haven't wanted for more. So which is nice. And then
what's happened is that we've become so connected with our fans between our personal lives, even with Paul and Alex and me and our kids, that we usually keep the show up. So the one point where it could possibly go down, which used to be a big chunk of our show, right? I mean, almost 45 minutes of the show was you meet your maker, basically, where you could lose people. We just took that out of the equation.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would be a great 45 minutes, and sometimes it's not, but we just took that out of the equation. So, and so far it's working.
Yeah. So
right.
far, I haven't heard a single person complain or anything. So it's definitely been nice.
I think we've become a culturally part of a lot of people's Saturday mornings now, like just their routine. They'll make their cup of coffee, they'll grab a cigar, they'll sit out and they'll pull up KMA in the morning.
Well, and it's also you've become part of their all of you become part of their lives. We're fixated on how much chess Alex is playing. We're fixated on Paul driving around the neighborhood in the golf cart. You know, it's like because Paul doesn't post that during the week. So now we only get this one opportunity every Saturday morning to figure out if Paul went to Disney World again, or like I said, you know, just, you know, Alex's kid and, you know, your kids. And so it's,
you got to hand it to Paul, though. He really takes a beating every week.
He does take a beating. Really does. He does bring it on, though. You know,
I think he eats it up. I think that's his, that's the inside of him. You know, he eats that up.
That's it. We're all going to find out someday. You know, he's an actor. This has all been an act, all of it, the whole time. You know, I don't know.
No, I think it's Paul. Paul.
So
that's funny.
So let's see, is connected for sure. Who was that? Charlie Creekmore. So right on, Charlie. Thanks for watching tonight.
And this week starts season 6, I think, of Tail of the Tape.
So are you? I thought you said you were taking 2 weeks off. So are you back Saturday?
I think we're back this Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, because when you guys left, you said you were taking 2 weeks off because everybody wasn't. So okay.
No, I think Paul had something and Alex had something this Saturday. We take 2 weeks off every Christmas and New Year's, so that's 2 weeks right there. Yeah.
Okay.
1 week, and then Paul had a last-minute thing he told us about, and Alex had some fishing trip with his son. So usually 2 of us can run a show. Any 2 of us.
Yeah.
Alex and Paul, me and Alex, me and Paul.
Yeah, and I think Coop was out of town too for the.
I can't do a show without at least one of those 2 guys.
Yeah. So all right, so we'll be back this Saturday. So right on. And
Saturday.
Nice.
And if anybody watching or listening to the podcast, there is a description in the show notes, a clickable link that will take you to KMA, as well as the Great Smoke, as well as all of other, you know, Abe's Instagram, Smoke Inn's Instagrams. So let's get right to the heart of the show here. Great Smoke 2023. So let's watch a little teaser video.
Honest Abe here from Smoking Cigars. It is that time of year again, the Great Smoke 2023 Mardi Gras Madness. Whether you're coming down live or we're going to be enjoying the event from the comfort of your own home, your ticket price includes this epic package. It's one of our greatest Great Smoke packages in the history of this event. Over $400 worth of product and great swag for the low cost of $165. Do not hesitate. Tickets are selling this year faster than ever. Go to www.thegreatsmoke.com and get your live general admission ticket, your virtual ticket if you're going to enjoy from home, and tickets for either the dinner or the brunch. Epic time. We can't wait to see you all there. The Great Smoke 2023. Mardi Gras Madness.
So Great Smoke 2023. I can't tell you how many people over the last month that I've heard comments on Facebook have messaged me like, hey, you know, I saw your Great Smoke video from whatever 2 years ago. Can't wait to come down for the day. And I keep keep reminding people, this isn't a day event. This isn't just a 1 day. Great Smoke 2023 is a 4-day, you know, extravaganza. We're going to start off with, before we get into what goes on each day. So you have base companion, and then you have virtual tickets. Is everything? I didn't check before the show. Do you still have tickets available for all formats?
VIP sold out in a day this year, which was unheard of and unprecedented. Kind of screwed the pooch on that one. Normally it takes about 30 days for VIP to sell out. So we were actually doing the Raji tour in Miami with the winners from our 25th anniversary cigar. Alex and I were in Miami all day. And basically we got back Monday morning and there was no tickets. I didn't even pull out sponsor tickets yet. I didn't even pull out my family's tickets yet. So I don't even know where I'm going to make up 2 tables to put those people at. But yeah, we screwed the pooch on VIP. So that's gone. Absolutely none left. There will be no more up. There are still general admission tickets. I think there are general admission companion tickets left. That's good for your wife or your girlfriend if you want to come as a couple, but you don't really need 2 big cigar packages. And there's virtual tickets left, which is, it's funny. So this is going to be a definitive year on the virtual tickets because it's been such an extreme. All the live tickets has been selling out way ahead of schedule, way ahead of last year. Virtual tickets last year, we we put up, I mean, I'll tell you the numbers, I don't care. We put up 500, right? So last year, after the digital experience, we had a lot of requests. Please keep doing a virtual event. We love this. I love the cigars, the package. So we put up 500 tickets, and it sold out so fast.
This year?
Last year.
Oh, last year. Okay.
Last year. Sold out so fast. And a lot of people were upset because they didn't get a virtual ticket. They knew they couldn't come down live, so they couldn't buy a live ticket. So they weren't able to buy any of the TGS releases because they couldn't get a virtual ticket. So after a bunch of emails, so I have a set number of packages, so I divide them. So I'd allocated 500 for virtual. I literally stole 250 more tickets from the live, and we made one more drop. We told everybody, hey, these are the last virtual tickets. If you didn't get one, here's your chance. That sold out like in 3 or 4 days. So it was 750 tickets that went by like that. So this year we did 1,000, figuring it's a good number based on last year. You know, COVID has left a lot of things that people, I think, still mapping out. I think the live ticket sales have gone up so dramatically because a lot of people who were doing virtual either watched it and said, oh, screw this, I'm going down next year.
Yeah.
You know, or it had never been there, or didn't come last year because they still didn't feel safe and are coming this year. So I might be doing the opposite thing this year and stealing packages away from virtual tickets and moving them to live tickets because it looks like the live tickets will definitely, without a doubt, sell out.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, because people ask me all the time, hey, we see pictures, you know, like, you know, how is it in person? I go, you can't, the pictures, even the video, you can't do it justice, you know, from being there in person. It is crazy.
There's an energy in the air that everybody feels. I mean, by that day, I should literally be a corpse.
Yeah.
And if you see me, I'm running around like a madman. It's the energy of that room and that atmosphere and everybody having a good time. And you feel it. And, you know, we do our best if you buy a virtual ticket to bring that home to you. I think Michael Herklotz, Kim Keeney, and Paul do a phenomenal job of really trying to make you feel like you're there if you're watching it at home or with your buddies and you're doing a watch party. They've really gelled. And I think, you know, last year was brilliant, but they got a better feel for it. Because you remember, we do this live. There's no flying in. There's no dress rehearsal. There's no editing.
Yeah.
This shit goes live. And I think they're gonna knock it out of the park this year just because of the experience of doing it last year, you know, for the first time in the format that we did it.
So on the base plus companion, just so everybody knows, you know, people that may not know. So you buy one full price ticket and that gets you all of the swag. And
now,
then
32 cigars, the actual cigars. Because look, I mean, I'll show you my paperwork, right? So we get these commitment forms from all the manufacturers. We got them in August of last year. All right, some may have come in early September. But I'll tell you, over a dozen of them changed. So that's why we don't list the cigars, because even though they commit to it, something happens, production happens. So we're officially good. So we say 32 cigars, but if you click on the homepage and you click on it, it will actually tell you the exact 32 cigars.
Oh, okay. I didn't click on that, you know. So
it used to say the company's names there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm used to seeing, is just the companies.
Because we don't trust them to put it in print. You know, we end up changing it like 10 times before it actually is finalized. So these are the official cigars, unless something in transit gets lost. But everything is either arrived or in transit at this point.
You know, because you'll always get at least one person. You know, so you're going to get like $800 worth of stuff for almost free, but you'll get that one person be like, "Hey, I was promised a Tatuaje, you know, whatever Tuxla, and I did not get that. You know, where's my cigar?"
I didn't do the math yet because it's literally just dropped like I think Friday last week, but it's literally like well over $350 probably in value if you add up the math of the cigars. And then the swag we went this year is over the top swag. We have this gorgeous embroidered hat, rally towel, you got event beads, shot glass, bar key. I mean, you see it all there. Cutter, lighter, 2 bags.
Yeah, ashtray. Yeah.
So that's all in there. So I mean, I say the value of that package is minimum $450, somewhere in that range, and it's $165. So that's what the ticket gets. So the ticket to this event is literally probably one of the best cigar deals you'll get all year. And then on top of that, we're going to give you a killer experience, and that's what really it's all about at the end.
That's it. So people that buy the tickets virtually, where you can still get them, when do they get there? Because obviously they get theirs ahead of time. When do they get theirs?
We'll start shipping those the first week of March because we want them all to be there before event day. Because if you're doing it virtual, you're just watching one event. We don't broadcast all 4 days. We broadcast the main event day. So we want them all there before main event day. So probably the first week of March, they'll start landing. What we're going to do with some of our media people, and once we get the final cigars in, you could probably look for it probably the first week of February. We're going to send you your packages early.
Okay.
That way, because nothing, no matter that graphic is okay, it won't. It's not nearly as impressive as when somebody
doing an unboxing, showing you know.
Is that's when everybody, because when we did the digital experience and we had sold out and all the boxes started dropping, we probably got 300 emails. How do I get this package? This package is gone. It's sold and those have been shipped. So we're gonna get the media people early. And if you're coming to the event, your ticket, when you get your package, you'll get a lanyard already. So when you show up, you can just walk right in. You don't have to worry about carrying the cigars or whatnot. And we'll just scan it like you've been received. So we're going to do that a little different this year. But everybody who's a consumer will get their packages the first week of March. And if you're coming down to the live event, you'll literally get it that day.
Okay, I was just going to ask. So they're still getting it when they show up. They don't get it early.
Nope.
With anything else.
They'll get the whole package when they show up, and then they can do their rounds and meet all the manufacturers and collect their 32 cigars.
Does that include the tailgate ticket?
So the tailgate ticket is no charge. It's open to the public.
Yeah.
First time. This is a new event. So here we are, year 17, I think it is, and it's still growing. So there's a new event this year that we've never had before. It's an actually official tailgate party. It's literally was put together by Mitch Rockwell over at Cigar Ruffians, and Eric Espinosa is involved. And from what I understand, I wasn't even involved in this process, but Eric Espinosa has made a limited cigar, especially for the people who come to the tailgate party. I think they're giving the first 100 people who show up to the tailgate party that free collector cigar, which you'll never be able to buy or find anywhere else.
Special tailgate blend. That's great.
I think that's the label says tailgate party. So I don't know, but it's the first year we're doing that. So I mean, literally from Thursday night to Sunday afternoon, it's a plethora of stuff for people to have fun, make some great memories.
Well, let's start off with and before we start off with Thursday night, I just a question that people do ask: they don't need a virtual ticket to watch the event, right? There's no login. They can yeah.
No, we listen. We put, and Kevin, you've seen it firsthand. We put way too much effort in the digital broadcast and in our live events for people just not to see it. So we want them to see it. We want to see what they're missing out. What you get as a virtual ticket holder is you get to see it, but you have access to all the crazy. I mean, I'm proofreading our catalog now for the Great Smoke, right?
Yeah.
You get access to all the crazy deals, the special limited releases. That if you're not a ticket holder, you won't be able to access the Great Smoke store or have an opportunity at the limited.
So so if anybody's interested, you could still hold a Great Smoke watch party, get your buddies together at your local lounge, get some cigars, get some drinks, and then just watch. You can do that for free. So definitely hit up your local brick and mortar and see if they want to do a watch party, because it is a hell of an event. So let's start off with Thursday, March 16th, Drew Estate event with Jonathan Drew, right?
JD's in the house. It's going to be a big one, man.
Now, is this a blackened event, or is this? I know they're starting to promote that, but I don't know if that.
So, I'm trying to hold it a sneeze. So, Drew Estate's doing a blackened events. So. We still haven't received our full shipment from our initial order, but they're allocating products especially for these events. So I'm pretty sure they'll have blackened here. Blackened is pretty much going to be at any Drew Estate event, no matter what. And but we're still waiting on our opening order to be fulfilled completely.
Okay, I didn't know if they were going to have the swag, because they have like the cutters, all the swag that will be at most blackened events. So that's what I was wondering.
So what I know now is I know the swag, the gift with purchases that we're printing in the catalogs. right?
Oh, okay.
Because that's my main focus. What they're going to bring at that event, I haven't even discussed with, but they always bring way more than we ever think they're going to bring as far as swag and stuff to give away. So I'm just like any other major event, Drew Estate always comes strong. In fact, Drew Estate this year bought a portion of the show floor, and they're opening up their own little like store at the Great Smoke this year.
Really?
First time ever we've done it. So they're going to have their cigar booth just like everybody else in line. They'll have product in the pit, and then they're going to have like this whole L-shaped store, and they're bringing like a lot of rare stuff for the live attendees at the Great Smoke. I don't even know what they're bringing, so it won't be in the store, because to be in the store we have to know well in advance what you're bringing. So there are some benefits of some extra stuff you can get by being there live than virtual, but we try to accommodate it as much as possible.
Oh man, that's gonna be crazy. So for the people that the Drew Estate people, like me, fanboys of all the swag and cigars and everything else, that is just another reason to make sure that you get down to the live event. 'Cause I know there's gonna be people watching virtually. They're gonna see something. Don't call me. I'm not getting something for you and mailing it to you. So
I mean, listen, meeting JD alone is always an experience, right? I mean, if you know him well, you love to see him again. If you haven't met him, it's definitely a thing to get to meet him for the first time.
Oh yeah, and then he always brings a great entourage. I'm sure Ryan Gallimore, Jack Heyer, I mean they'll be up. So Tom Zibrat, all those guys, just such cool dudes.
John does not like to be empty-handed when he does events.
Yeah, he needs a group of people like corralling him, because if not, like he'll spend all his time talking, mingling. He forgets to eat, he forgets to drink. If he went to a bathroom with a urinal, there'd be a line of people waiting for him at the urinal.
It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes or an hour, if that's where the conversation goes, that's just how Jonathan is.
Yeah.
He takes his time to talk to people. And that's one of the things I love the most about him, is he's just genuinely like a good person, to everyone who he meets. And then he remembers, like after he meets you the first time, like he'll remember something about you.
Oh yeah. Crazy memory that guy has.
It's insane.
So
to answer John, I know they've committed to doing an activation in the morning where the Character people were last year, but I'm not sure if it's going to be the Character people again. So.
Okay, are they going to have the? Do you know if they're having the activation for the tobacco? Having the coffee and the cigars are usually. I think they were there last year with the tobacco.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, they do.
Okay.
Bro, it's a lot going on in this
yeah.
So that's the stuff I need to worry about like 4 weeks from now. Right now, I spent the last 2 weeks just hunting down these event cigars that were supposed to be in my warehouse by the 16th.
Oh, jeez.
They're supposed to be in my warehouse by the 16th. Man, I'll show you something funny. Should be on my desk. I keep moving stuff. No, maybe it's not anymore. But there's a. Well, I'll look for it later. I'll look for it on the air. But yeah, I'm still hunting down the cigars because we need to make sure we have those early, because we have to pre-pack all the virtual stuff and get it ready to ship beginning of March. So and we keep telling these people this every year because they're thinking, "What do you need the cigars for early?" Just mind you, just for funny's sake, right? So here's the section where you put down the cigar you're bringing, right? You see? Yeah, right here. Where my finger is, right underneath the name. It says, Event Cigars, required for 3% mark to be delivered to the warehouse no later than January 16th, 2023. Right under where they write the brand name. And if I could find my master form, which I just updated recently, there's still a lot of people who do it.
It's never ending. At least you guys have the space this year. You got the new warehouse to put everything together. Or are you out of space yet? Because I was down there when you were just opening that warehouse, and you were already quickly,
honestly,
filling it up.
Yeah, we're getting tight on warehouse space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have screwed the pooch on that one, Kev. I mean, look, I don't blame myself because if you look at the amount of shipping, and you've been in my back room, haven't you, Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you look at the amount of shipping that we were doing out of that back room, right? And that back room was half dedicated, not even half. It was really maybe a third dedicated to shipping because we had workstations where the graphics guys worked literally on the other side of where the shipping was. And then you walk into this empty warehouse, like 8,000 square feet, and you're like, what are we going to do with this space? This is like a city. And it just doesn't last. I mean, it's literally been a year and 2 months, and we're like, shit, we don't have room. So I might have screwed the pooch on that one.
But as always, you'll figure it out. You know, it's unfortunate.
We'll just keep packing it in until you can't take it anymore at this point.
So we move on. We got a Friday, March 17th. We got 2 events. So we've got the Red Meat Lovers Club dinner with Michael Herklotz.
The first official event with Michael Herklotz, who now I really have dubbed. He is the official face of the virtual Great Smoke. Mm-hmm. If you buy a virtual ticket and you're at home watching, he is your guide. He is hosting it. I mean, I pop on, I say a few things, I'm in it, but he is your host of the virtual Great Smoke. So to do an event with him, because you got to remember, I mean, when I first asked him this, I think he was still working with Nat Sherman, and I don't think he had closed down yet. No. And he really had no idea what I was going to do. I mean, I think if in retrospect, like knowing, he would have said yeah, but he really didn't hesitate. He said, if I'm available, I can make it, let me put together, and he was happy to do it. So, and like after that event, it went so well. I literally looked at him. We were sitting in the green room, all exhausted, our coats off, relaxed. And I said, so listen, you think you want to do this again next year? Because I was scared you might not. And he's like, do you really have to ask me? I was like, dude, I love this guy. So, yeah, he's the official host. So they have him for our TGS dinner. And now he has a brand and a company. I'm very happy and excited to have him for our Red Meat Lovers Club. I shouldn't really call it VIP dinner, just pre-event dinner. And it's a hell of a cigar package that comes with the meal. So he's giving away 2 Ferriotagos, 1 of each blend. And he actually made a TGS exclusive, Timeless Black, which will be given out to people who are at the dinner. So,
I was going to ask, because that was one thing I wasn't sure of. If he was having a Ferriotago cigar. Yep.
If you click on the link on the homepage, it literally will tell you in the description. You get 1 Ferriotago 2022 Elegancia, 1 Generoso, and 1 TGS exclusive Ferriotago Timeless Black. That comes with your dinner. Now, if I could just read this dinner, right? Appetizer stations, beef sliders, Cajun butter stuff, shrimp po' boy sliders, Mardi Gras spiced meatball sliders, andouille sausage, caramelized pepper, onions, and bourbon sliders, sexy wangs. And then the dinner is going to be a plated 16-ounce strip steak, loaded baked mashed potatoes with the sexy bacons out of this world.
Yes.
And truffle sauce, muffalata salad, served family style. And for dessert, Tom's world famous white chocolate bread pudding.
Now, are there still tickets available for the dinner?
Dinner tickets are way ahead of last year. There are some, but I if I'm going to guess at this point, I'm going to say it's probably less than 15.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's without exaggeration.
And if anybody's never been to Kerr, I got to get you to a Red Meat Lovers Club dinner. It is insane the amount of food that they
just
bring.
Looking at the 200 seated tables, that long row is epic, right?
Yeah.
Just one straight row of 200 people is pretty epic.
It is absolutely.
Someone had a question.
Okay.
Right here.
What's the chance of you guys doing a great smoke on the West Coast?
Nope.
It makes it.
Listen, you could do it virtual. I mean, that's the best I could do for it.
I couldn't even imagine logistics of
I'm going to tell you a little secret. So someone was trying to talk to me about doing a second one in another location. We were, for whatever reason, engaging the idea. And literally through this process of chasing people, because listen, honestly, putting the Great Smoke is a lot of work for everybody here. But for most of us, it's fun. It's the creative process, It's coming up with the ideas. And that stuff, while it's work you enjoy. But this chasing down people, for stuff that they've had 9 months to prepare for, because they hold you up and they keep you from doing what you need to do. That's the soul eating, crunching part of this event. And I really texted the guy. I said, yeah, fuck that idea. There's not going to be another BGN. I'm not doing this shit twice a
Great
year.
Smoke, Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah. No, it'll definitely be a small one.
People don't realize it really is an all year project for us.
Yeah.
I mean, and people don't understand is there's like 4 or 5 people that put it together. I mean, maybe even 3 integral people who really put this all together. 4 maybe tops. The rest is labor the day of and the week of, but all the prep is really done by less amount than I have fingers on my hand. It's a lot of work. And
those people aren't just doing just the Great Smoke. They have other jobs.
It's basically me and Marissa kind of coordinate the whole thing. We have one other lady who really helps us, Stephanie, coordinate the whole event stuff. And then you have the graphic guys and Alex work on the catalog, the book, and the website in the back end, But just in the event planning side, it's really like kind of 3 of us. And Italo in the warehouse who's receiving and doing a lot of stuff. But it's amazing how we put this on. So to do a second one, I really don't think. I think people will start quitting.
Yeah.
I think people will start quitting. I start getting resignation pretty quick.
I'm sure. Then it becomes just not fun. It just.
Right now it's fun.
Yeah.
It really is. And as long as it stays that way, we'll always keep doing it, and we'll keep trying to make it better every year, which, knock on wood, we've been successful at so far.
It's like when I used to go to church as a kid, you come home on Sunday. It's like, at least I have 7 days before there's no church. It's the same with the Great Smoke. At least I have a year. If they had to think I got to do this again in 6 months, no.
But there will be those people.
Yeah. So we got another event on Friday, March 17th as well. And that is at Boynton Beach,
Yes.
Smoke In with Steve Saka, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. Now, is that going on at the same time? Is there an overlap for people that want to do the dinner and then catch, the Dunbarton event? What are the times for that?
So the dinner cocktail party starts around 7 o'clock. Steve probably will kick off around 8 o'clock. But it's pretty much a staple every year, right? So the dinner's typically over by 10, by 10:30, before 11, almost everybody migrates here to Boynton Beach where Steve is still be at and hanging out and having fun. So you could literally actually do both events that night if you wanted to.
Yeah, we've always done the event at Boynton Beach. I like it. Every year it's a little bit smaller of an event. You can hang out. Whoever's there. I think Rocky's been there the last couple of years. Get to hang out with Nimish and the crew, and then everybody from the dinner. Steve Sock. Everybody used to come over afterwards anyway.
Yeah.
So those people were coming over anyways.
The other thing that we changed this year is all the events are here in Boynton. So there's not going to be.
Oh, you're not having any. Okay.
Not enough room, Kev.
Yeah.
Not enough room anymore. We can house so many more people in Boynton. It's just getting too tight in West Palm Beach. You just can't handle it.
That was the only complaint that I had heard, like last year, because we just hung out at Boynton and a few people came over, like, yeah, we were over at West Palm and it's just too packed over there.
Can't handle it.
They just came over to Boynton Beach instead.
We got a bigger bar, bigger lounge, bigger setup, bigger outdoor area. We could just handle a much larger crowd and service them better. So all the events are either at Boynton Beach or at the fairgrounds.
Are you bringing in more chairs for Boynton Beach? Chairs is always
chairs and tables.
Yeah, and tables. I mean, I like I said, rarely do we ever sit at a table. Chairs, people is like, I told Jessica we got our chairs ready. We got to bring chairs next year.
We have plenty of. I mean, I hope we have plenty. We don't have plenty of chairs this year. And that's going to be a good thing, I guess.
Definitely a good thing. And then you've got the thing you stand on, the video thing where they spin it around. Is that going to be at Boynton Beach or is that going to be at the Great Smoke? The little
what video thing?
Not that we're like you stand on the turntable and they push the camera around. I think Paul was saying
the
something
360?
like the 360.
What makes you think we were going to have that?
I think Paul said you guys said that on KMA.
Did we?
Yeah, you said that on KMA.
Yeah, we have a 360. It's actually sponsored by Steve Saka this year.
Okay, yeah, I thought so. So that's good. So is that going to be at
I
Boynton
didn't know we
Beach?
put it out there yet.
Yeah.
That'll be inside. That'll be inside the exhibit hall, the event area.
Okay, at the Great Smoke though.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That'll be the day of the Great Smoke, because not everybody who goes to the Great Smoke comes to these store events, so that's part of that experience, you know.
Kevin was taking notes, Abe, during that show. That's why I asked
I'm
that
telling you, I
question.
didn't remember we told anybody about that yet.
You're actually like, why are you asking that question, Kev?
Yeah, because it was I want to get one. I want to get one for our new lounge. You know, I did see though the TikTok hack where you can make one yourself. People actually put it on their ceiling fan with a string and then put their ceiling fan on low, and so it spins the phone around, and they just stand under their ceiling fan.
I guess that works too.
Yeah, we need to work on something like a clip. You know,
Yeehaw.
that'd be a good idea. Until someone turns it on high and flings their phone into a wall.
To answer Charlie's question, if you're coming down, Charlie, the tailgate. Well, he's going in order, so we're going to get to the tailgate party. I don't want to ruin Kevin's order.
All right, so yeah, we've Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, the event. So then so that's the next one. We're leading up to Saturday, March 18th. And then we'll start off with the tailgate event. What time is that? Just when people start? Because I think we were there like at 9 o'clock in the morning, just hanging out with everybody. What time's the event start?
So the event, well, people congregate early.
Yeah.
That's why kind of the activations will be outside. They want to come in, check their bags, get their stuff. And so we always have kind of stuff going on outside. So, I mean, I think people start showing up like around 9 o'clock, honestly. VIPs get in at noon. General admission gets at 1. So you have time, but there will be an official tailgate party this year. It'll be out in the parking lot. You'll be able to see it. And it's going to be hosted, like I said, by Distinguished Ruffians. It starts at 10 a.m. officially.
Okay.
So, you know, he says here 10 a.m. to 12:30. I think by 12 most of the people go in, but it says here 10 a.m. to 12:30. So it starts at 10 a.m. The official tailgate party. They're gonna have beer, donuts, and first 100 people get a exclusive cigar to the event. And there's gonna be a vintage Airstream mobile lounge that a guy who does South Florida kind of promotes it. It's gonna be out there too, so people kind of hang out and check it out. So we'll have stuff for people to do early on before the doors open.
Oh, that's cool. Is that there's a few people down there now. Is that Amy and her husband that's doing the yeah.
I don't know. I didn't book it.
Oh, okay. So super cool. What about the tail? Any details? 10 a.m. Great stuff. Yeah, Kerr, donuts and beer.
Donuts
10
and beer.
9 a.m.
Cigars. Come on.
That's it. Enjoying cigars and but yeah, it was. I remember, like I said last year, it was like 9 o'clock. I think we were there, and it was hours before the event. You know, the doors opened and hundreds of people, and everybody was just sitting around telling stories, smoking cigars, and just having a good time.
Yeah, so it was be nice to actually have a function now this year.
Exactly. So and then the doors open. People come in. What can they expect when they come into a great smoke?
We hope to make you feel like you're in New Orleans for 4 hours. It's Mardi Gras Madness this year. It's themed. We expect a lot of New Orleans style entertainment, New Orleans style food. We have kind of really two separate areas. One is kind of the cigar manufacturer area toward the back where you grab all your cigars and you meet all your principals. And then the rest of the area is kind of all the food and whiskey row and entertainment and what's going on the stage. We have 5 people who made a TGS exclusive releases here. And so there'll be 5 interviews throughout the day. They'll be on the main stage done by Michael Herklotz, which will be able to be watched by anybody there live and broadcast to anyone who has a virtual ticket at home.
All right. So the people that get their, obviously their virtual ticket, they get their pack, they get all their cigars. When you show up, you have to actually go to each manufacturer table. You still have the booklet. You're not getting the same just giant pack. You still go table by table.
But believe it or not, people don't believe me when I tell you this, but it's so true. A lot of people think that it's tedious that way, but the majority of people like that part of the event. They like being able to go around, having at least a guaranteed few minutes with each guy, meeting them. And then you get to go back again later when they want to strike up more conversation with them. And honestly, bro, especially for some of these people, this is 5 hours. So you need some activity in that time too. So I don't see that part of it going away, because otherwise, where's the interaction? Or because we got so much going on at the Great Smoke, the majority of people are in the front area. So you have people that would buy from the pit, and I have a bunch of manufacturers kind of. If you've ever been to a Big Smoke, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, I went to Big Smoke when I was here in Miami, and after they handed out the cigars to everybody, there was really nothing for them to do, and they're just sitting there, and everybody's kind of doing their own thing. At least here, we have a store there, and they're interacting, and they're going back and forth. So for me, that's always kind of been tied to the TGS experience.
Oh, exactly. Like Randy had said, it's like trick or treating for cigars, but getting some good face time. And I know we normally we'll go through a couple manufacturers, get the cigars, then we go and do some other stuff. We come back, get the other cigars. And it's just nice getting. I would never want that to go away either, because you do get that, even if it's just a minute or two, even just a minute, getting your cigar, you take a picture, and then after it's all said and done, then you come back through the line, and that's when everybody's willing to talk, and hang out. Now, John had asked, do most people Uber or take a cab to the main event? They're going for the first time staying at the blocked Great Smoke Room, which luckily that hotel is just right down the street. It's
I don't know. We used 2 hotels. So
you did 2 hotels this year.
Another problem. First time ever, we sold out 3 complete blocks of hotel rooms in 2 different hotels, and that'll happen before December.
Yeah. So as soon as you announced it, we booked our. You had that block.
I watched it go up from 109, I think it was when it started, to I think 149 by the time the 3rd block went out. But it's still way better than if you book now. So I think next year we're going to look into just taking the whole hotel and selling all the rooms ourselves.
Oh yeah, that would be.
I think we're getting to the point where we can almost just buy the hotel for the 4 days.
That would be nice. I'm sure a lot of people want to hang out at the hotel during the the off time.
Yeah, Ubering is not too far, John. And what I've also come to see is guys who come the first day in Ubering, by Saturday they all have rideshare with friends and people. Oh no, I got my car, I'll pick you. And all of a sudden I see people pulling up in the shop, and there's like 6 guys in the car. It's just they get to know each other. So it's a very friendly thing. But Ubering is not far at all from where you're staying. Either place, it really wouldn't be that far.
Yeah, not that far. Well, I know on the hotel from last year, like that's where we're staying. I know it's not.
Last year was 2 hotels again.
Yeah, was it 2 hotels again?
Yes. We sold out and had to get a booking at the second one. So you were either by the turnpike or you were by the airport.
Yeah, I think we were by the turnpike because it wasn't like I said, it wasn't very far.
And the airport one is even closer, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Airport one is literally closer.
Oh, right on. So, it's John. We drive, but it's not too far away, and I guess it depends on how much of a drinker you are. If you like drinking, you definitely want to get an Uber or a ride, some kind of ride share, at all. But if you're not a huge drinker, it's not very far. So.
Also, it's a long day, so usually people start chilling out on the booze around 3 o'clock, 3:30. Yeah. So by the time the event's over, they're kind of sobered up a little bit. I mean, it's hard to start drinking at 10 in the morning and still be pounding them at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
You guys do.
I've seen those guys. Couple of guys last year. It's like, hey, you got to ride, right? It's you're not looking so well. So we've got that. And then at the after party. So we leave the Great Smoke. Great Smoke's over. Close the doors. That's not the end of the party. So we come back to Boynton Beach.
Yes. So this starts at 7 p.m. So there's a couple hours there. So Spear and Rhino, who's been a major host of our, been a major sponsor of our event for many, many years now. If you want time to kill, they're actually going to have a little after party there. It's free admission if you bring your TGS lanyard and go kill a couple hours there. And then we have Matt Booth at our headquarters again. And, we have a star-studded cast this year, I have to say.
Oh, yeah. Now you mentioned the Spearmint Rhino. For those that are not aware of what the Spearmint Rhino is, what kind of establishment is that?
It's a gentleman's club.
Yeah.
Gentleman's club. So not that anybody would go there, but it's a gentleman's club. But
now, do you have a sponsor for that? Because it was always Scott.
It was always Scott, but Scott's not doing the Great Smoke this year. So
he's not.
yeah, and it's just one of those things where it really required somebody from our team to go there, set it up, be involved. You know, you just don't want to send a manufacturer there alone, right?
Yeah.
And it's just hard. It's hard for us to handle that, sending somebody there, working on that, and getting ready for the one at the shop, and breaking down the Great Smoke so we can get out of the building. So they're just sponsored. They're hosting the after party, and if you show your land, you can get in for free and hang out there for a couple hours if you need time to kill before our Room 101 event.
All right,
they'll be there that day with their team, so they'll be giving away free drink tickets, free lap dance tickets, free other shot glass, I think, or sure, or something. I don't know, but they'll be giving away prizes as they have in the past.
Okay, so I was going to ask, they'll be at the event again. You always have like a dozen of the girls,
yes.
You know, at the event. So, what can we expect from Matt Booth and the Room 101?
Oh God, man, what can you not expect? I mean, with Matt Booth, the realm of possibility of what's going to happen is endless. You know, always a fun time. You know, and you know, it's good to get him on board. So, like I said, I'm very honored with all the people who got involved this year. We're coming strong in 2023.
That's it. And then I was talking with him. He's going to make me because I'm not a drinker of just straight cocktails. I know you guys have his gin now, so he said he would make me a cocktail or two with his gin because I'm more of a cocktail guy. Do you guys have a Great Smoke Room 101 gin cocktail prepared yet?
That would be the bar people. I know they have cocktails lined up for every night specialties. I'm pretty sure Moxie's working on a 101 gin for that night, 100%. But I don't know.
Okay,
Great
now,
gin.
yeah, I haven't had it yet. I got a bottle here. We're gonna break in the new lounge, you know, with the Room 101 gin. As in like Room 101 cigar, will there be same thing? We'll go back with Steve Sock. I forgot to ask about that because we talked about, you know, the Drew Estate, you know, Blackened the event. Dunbarton, you know, for that event, are there going to be deals boxed, anything like that?
All our events have event special deals.
Oh, okay.
And swag, and you know, sometimes we've given away a TV every year with Rocky, so I don't know what they got planned this year. But I mean, there's always some exciting thing going on. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. You know, we don't typically promote it this early because there's so many other fires that we're putting out now. So as we get closer to the week, there'll probably be more details on what every manufacturer is doing for their event.
All right. Hopefully Matt brings something weird. I know he's got the urinal cakes, he's got the condoms, he's got banana hammocks.
Well, during the Great Smoke, we give away raffle prizes like every hour on the hour. I think like 20, 25 prizes throughout the day. And all you have to do is buy a ticket, whether virtual or live, and you're automatically entered. And then we just do the random drawings throughout the show. And I think he bought a big foo.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I think that's one of the raffle prizes this year.
All right, so the people that get in, and I like the way, I'm glad you brought that up because I love the way you do it now versus before. It was just like
both.
It was like at the end, and I know Jessica and I are just sitting there after like 5 hours. We're like, oh God, you know, just calling name after name after name.
Yeah, because you had to be there live to win it.
Yeah,
we didn't know who was who. Right, we had this big ticket with just number of tickets, so it's not like we could say, oh, Bob won it. We'll just say it for Bob. You know, there was no time to write people's names out. So we would call out this name, going once, going twice, going once. Sometimes it'd be 8, 9, 10 times before you know we'd get a winner. So now just giving everyone one ticket, you're automatically entered with your TGS ticket, and it don't matter whether you're local or at home. If you win, we ship it to you. If you're local, you got to pick it up and take it with you. There's that.
So the people that, you know, obviously for the people that buy the virtual ticket, so you can still get in on the drawings. So definitely, you know, if you can't make it, like I said, and you want to get in on some cool swag, like I said, they always give some great stuff away, and obviously you'll ship it to people. And the people that, like I said, the big foo, are you going to be able to ship that? Because a lot of people are flying in.
On some of the, if you're there, you're taking it. You could go to pack mail, ship it yourself. We're going to be busy getting out a few hundred orders for the Great Smoke. So, We don't want to deal with stuff you won. If you win it, you can figure out how to ship it to yourself. If you're at home, we'll ship it to you. Some of the items, and I think it's written somewhere, some of the items are really big, so there may be a shipping cost. Like I think there's a bike skull and there's a grill, huge big thing. So, but most of the smaller stuff, wherever, we'll just ship it, no charge.
All right, you're breaking up just a little bit on that last.
I am.
Yeah, you were breaking up. Yeah, like your internet. Or Kerr, was he breaking up for you, or is it me?
That's you.
What's that?
That's you. He was clear as a bell.
Oh, was he? Okay,
Yep.
Let me just make sure my my internet is plugged in. So that's good. So yes,
Yes, Bill Ragone, you're going to win the bike. He's going to ship you the bike so you can ride around Long Island.
yeah. I'm feeling lucky. This is
lucky.
This is my year.
One of those big Drew Estate bikes, cruisers.
Oh, really?
I think so. We box it up. We put it in the warehouse. We try not to open it, but yeah, I think so.
Oh, we gotta open. Yeah, I gotta open that one up. So that's.
Well, we'll open it up the day of the event. We'll bring it there so it's all showcased.
Yeah. So and then those are going to be. Are you still going to do it like I don't know if you said it or not. Like once on the hour, you'll be giving stuff away.
Every hour on the hour. You know, it's a live broadcast, so close to every hour on the hour. 5 minutes early, 5 minutes later, depending on how the show's going.
So and then another thing this year, which every year you're doing something different, you know, and which is mind-boggling that you can even think of doing anything different. Like you've got it nailed down.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but we got Bradley Rubin doing something cool to benefit the Boys and Girls Club of Broward County.
Man, I haven't checked it in this whole weekend. Where is it at? We need to talk about this.
Yeah, I don't know where I saw it.
No. I mean, I haven't checked where the money's at. The goal is $10,000.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I did check. I did check on like when they just announced it. It was up to like $3,000 in like
it was
minutes.
Up to 55 or 5,600 last time I looked.
Oh man.
Hang on. Because that just happened during our drop. So we have these 5 limited drops. We have manufacturers who make a special limited release, only 300 bundles. That's it. And we do these events prior to the Great Smoke. So the first one was Steve Saka, who had the Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust EX127. That dropped on January 4th, sold out. About a week ago, we did Alec and Bradley Rubin, and that's what I'm smoking right now, actually, during the show. It's called The Crew.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw a couple guys post today that they got their cigars.
So these started shipping out Wednesday. If you're a TGS ticket holder, it exists in the store. And during that broadcast, we talked about Bradley shaving his mustache, and to do it for charity, and that we would do it live. We'll shave him on stage live at the Great Smoke. So the next day I started a GoFundMe, and I need to see where it's at because I haven't looked in a couple days.
Man, that's going to be that'll be
6,000. We're 4,000 away.
Oh man, that
away.
That is nuts. Now, all the comments in that post that I saw on Facebook, a lot of people were asking, do they get the choice of how to shave their mustache? Because for me, if I won, I would shave half his mustache and just let it go. Does it have to be the whole mustache? Is it like nobody's going to give him a Hitler stash? Are they?
No.
Is that okay?
There's a company called Real Clips Barbershop, so they have a station there. They have 3 barbers that give people cleanups, touch-ups while they're there. We're just going to bring one of the barbers up on stage and have them just shave it off completely. Now,
so the winner doesn't physically get to shave?
Hell no.
Oh, okay.
No. He's just going to get it shaved, and I know his mom wants it really bad because she's donated the most and done it twice.
Oh, really? Hates the mustache, and he's got a beautiful stash. That thing is like, I mean,
you should just let her cut it off just for the double donation.
I know it's almost like a fake mustache. That's how big and beautiful that mustache
it is. It's almost like a prop, like a movie prop.
Yeah, exactly. So for people that may not have caught what Abe said, Real Clips, will be there. Is that free? Are they charging? Do you just tip the guys?
So they do like, I think, free just cleanups or something, and then they just take a tip. But then like if some people want something else, I think they have like prices, but they'll clean, I think, everybody up for free, and you just tip them like an edge up or whatever they call it, just line you up, straighten you up.
All right, so you had one of your guys, the owner, Adrian. He was at Boynton Beach last year. Setting up. Is he going to be at Boynton Beach again this year, or is it just going to be? I'm almost. Oh no, that wasn't at Boynton. That wasn't at the Great
Red
Smoke
Lovers Club.
That was the that was that event. So yeah, he was out there.
He can't because whatever chairs he's got's already at the fairgrounds. Or actually, you don't have any more chairs.
Yeah, God, and those chairs are big and heavy.
Big and heavy, man.
I can't imagine moving them big old barber chairs, out as well.
Oh.
So another reason to attend. You get a cleanup.
That's awesome.
While
We just
you're
try
there.
to jam as many positive experiences as we can into one event. Literally, I mean, that's all we do.
Well, it's it because the event is so big. There's no way to experience everything. Like there's going to be like an activation. There's going to be something that you're just not going to be able to get to, because there's just limited time and a lot of people. So it's nice having multiples. So if you can't do this, you can definitely get this done, or you can definitely get this done, so it makes it really, really, really nice. All right, that leads us up to Sunday, March 19th. Great Smoke is over. Everybody wakes up Sunday morning just hungover from cigars because we've all been there, just wrecked on cigars. So what's our Sunday broadcast or our Sunday show?
To the Great Smoke, our brunch. So Terrence Riley is our hostess here, Aganorsa Leaf, and they'll be validating Sunday morning. So with your brunch ticket, he'll give you a cigar. We have an all-you-can-eat brunch. Starts at noon. Bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. And I don't know if you've been to a brunch, Kevin, but it's better than many brunches I've been out to at restaurants and stuff like that.
We haven't been to one. We're always just waking up early Sunday for that, 4-hour drive home, so we haven't been to the brunch yet. Now is the brunch at Boynton Beach?
Yes.
Okay, so you have a catering company come in, and
it's the guy I've been working with 25. It's the guy who caters the Great Smoke. Talk about a rough weekend.
Okay, same guy.
Yeah. So there's an fresh omelet station, carving station. I mean, there's 4 or 5 stations throughout the shop. So this year we're running out of room. Last year, so we're going to try something new and move all the food outside under tent.
Oh, okay.
To open up more seating area inside for people because we got a lot more room outside too. So we're going to try that out this year and see how that goes.
Now that is a ticketed event, correct?
Yes. So all these events we mentioned here are free except 3. The main event Saturday, the dinner Friday night, and the brunch. Everything else is pretty much show up, open to the public. So
show up, because that was one thing during the just the virtual event during COVID. Like 2 years ago, we were at Boynton Beach, watching the event and then going back and forth, and then people were like, "Oh, I wish I could come," and I'm like, "It's free." People thought that you had to have tickets to get into any one of these events.
Right.
So there's not. So if they wanted to come down to the brunch, just come down to Boynton Beach and hang out. They can still come down there, right? They just don't do the brunch.
You won't get served food or have the bottles of most of Muddy Bloody Marys or the cigar from Terrence Riley. The store is still open.
So anybody that that is in the area, definitely feel free to just come down. Like I said, you don't have to attend the Great Smoke to attend any of these, pre-parties, after parties. John Lovell asked, what is an activation? That's kind of something Drew Estate termed activation stations. It's just a 10, but sometimes just a 10 by 10 booth where, you do something to get something,
Yep.
So, like getting the, your hair trimmed up. That's an activation, activation station.
I think they had like a dartboard thing, a silly dartboard last year, and they rolled the dice for Hoya last year. I think that's 2 activations last year.
Yeah.
And I think they had a tobacco too.
That's what I was asking earlier. They had
last year.
They had the tobacco, and I think that was in your booklet too. So you got like the tobacco cigar, and then you got free coffee. They had hot coffee, cold brew coffee. So that was free.
Yeah.
And if you there's like endless coffee if you just wanted the coffee as well. So that's what the activations are. So yeah, definitely if like I said, anybody watching, listening to the podcast in the future, you can definitely come down and just hang out with Matt Booth, JD, Terrence, all these great people. It doesn't cost anything if you can't afford to come to the event as well. And then like I said earlier, if you want to just watch the Great Smoke, it's free. Now, Where will they be able to? What is that going to be live on your YouTube? Where can people tune in?
It'll be on Smoke-In's Facebook page, the Great Smoke Facebook page, and Smoke-In's YouTube page.
Mhm.
All right. So, and then we talked about
YouTube gets a little tricky because they will drop it if it picks up. Sometimes you got to be careful because there's a live DJ there, and if it picks up music or something.
I know that
Yeah.
that's
it's tricky. Now the next official event of the Great Smoke is coming up not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that.
Yeah, so we have that, which we've got. We were talking earlier about the cigars, so let's learn a little bit about the next cigar here. So you'd mentioned before Dunbarton, they sold out. Is any of the Alec Bradley cigars left?
Last I looked, there was 40 some bundles left.
So almost none.
Almost gone. And you got to remember, this is only being offered to people who already have a ticket. Still a lot of people who wait the last minute to get a ticket. So, it's the perk of getting your ticket early. You don't have to fight if you really want any of these releases. Because the first year we did this, we crashed our website like 10 times, right? I mean, we had 2,000 people trying to buy these limited releases.
And it made it not fun because I was at Boynton Beach. The event was going on. They put it up on the big screen. Fuentes, cigars going. So now, I mean, there was probably 30 of us there. We're all on our phones for like a half an hour. We're not paying attention to the event. I actually had to go back and watch what I missed. And I'm like, that kind of sucks.
It's not fun for you. I won't even tell you how it was for us. So, I mean, doing these little things before the main event really makes it stress-free. It lets people who got their ticket early get a little perk. They really don't have to fight people. Because if anything's left by the end of these little events, we just bring them to the next event day, and it's pretty much gone after that. If there's anything left, like Saka sold out like in one day. So this is a very interesting cigar. Robert Hope, first time working with Southern Draw, making something special called Evening Stock. So next Wednesday, February 1st, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to do a broadcast. Robert Holt will be on. We'll talk a little bit about more of the cigar, what he did, and we will drop it during that show. So you'll have the ability to buy it during that show, and that's when we'll open sales for this.
So how do they? You said they open up the sales. How do they get that?
So right now, if you go to thegreatsmoke.com, there's a enter the TGS store, top right corner, right? So you can enter the store there, but it needs to acknowledge you have a ticket. So it's going to ask you either from your reference number from your Great Smoke ticket, or if you just go to your Great Smoke account and go to the TGS tab in your dashboard, it'll show you your ticket and it'll say click here to enter store directly from there. And right now there's only these 5 items in the store, these special releases. 3 of them are grayed out because one is blacked out because it's sold out. The Alec Bradley's live. The Robert Holt one's there, but it's not live yet. There's no product or quantity available to purchase. That will get turned on during the event, and you'll be able to click. So you can't go to smokein.com. It's literally a special store we built for TGS ticket holders. That's either accessible to the Great Smoke website, if you go click on the store, enter store, or your smokein.com account under the TGS tab in your dashboard. You can click directly into the store from there.
So, and then I've learned, from everybody in the past, people, you're to access that store now. figure it out now. There are so many people
Yeah.
that just like, I can't figure it out. I mean, everything's going live, and
That's what we try to tell everybody. Listen, don't have your credit card information. I mean, listen, honestly, the wait hour sold out. So if you really want any one of these projects, just show up during the event. You'll be able to get it. I can't promise anything after 24 hours after that, but show up for the event. You won't have to rush or die or whatever. You'll be able to kind of comfortably be able to make your purchase, and you're done with it. You can enjoy the rest of the show.
So, for people that want to purchase any of these, like the evening stock, are they limited to one bundle, one per ticket?
What we try to do, because our goal is to try to make as many people happy as possible, right? I'm not looking for a guy who wants to buy 10 so he can go sell them to his buddies, right?
Yeah.
So we do it as a perk of watching the broadcast. During the broadcast, we open it up to 2 bundles per person. So if you're watching in the broadcast, we'll let you buy up to 2, but then after that, it goes to 1.
Okay. So they can buy 1 ahead of time, and then during the broadcast, or during as in the broadcast as your live show.
Sorry, the broadcast of the release of the cigar, which is February 1st, next Wednesday. So if you're watching when we drop the cigar, it'll be limit 2, and then immediately after the show, we set it back to 1.
Okay, so after that so if you want to, make sure you're watching during, that live show, and you guys go live at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah, and we don't drop it at 7. We announce it because we spend the first 15 minutes telling everybody this stuff.
Oh, okay.
Go check your store. Make sure you get in. We try to tell them, all that stuff first, and then we'll drop it like usually in the first 15, 20 minutes of the show.
All right. And then we've got the next one, February 15th, Altadis, Rafael Nodal.
I'm actually, if you would have asked me when we started doing this, if I would ever ask Altus to make a TGS cigar, I would have told you no.
That's what I was going to ask, because you had mentioned that on KMA that you never would have asked. So
it would have been like, I don't want to say I never would have asked. Like, there's a reason I wouldn't ask. It just, there'd be way many more people before I would want to get to Altadis USA, right? Because you want to make something gourmet. No one's thinking about one of the biggest manufacturers in the world, or
Right.
But working with Rafael and our connoisseur club, which we were talking about, man, he made some really stellar blends, and I could tell the companies that we work with who really got into it. He was really into it. He was really into making special stuff for our connoisseur club cigars, which was creating blends for like 500 people, less than 500 people, and even got less during, toward the end. That's what really inspired me to ask him. And I wasn't even sure if they would, because they really don't do one-off projects like this. They'll do private labels or whatever. But so I really wasn't even sure if he would when he asked. But I think his experience at the Connoisseur Club kind of amped him up for the project, and he was kind of happy to do it. So I'm very excited about this very special Monte Cristo they're dropping for their TGS release.
And even when they do it for private labels, it's not 310 count bundles.
No. What they do is they'll make private labels for company, but it's a regular production item.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, they'll do for some of the bigger catalog companies. They have their own variation of something that they already make, right? So they'll make, like, for instance, what was it? What was it? Kilimanjaro. I think it was Monte Cristo Kilimanjaro or something. It was Lou Rothman's, but it was something he had all the time, because I think he climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. So they'll make a special Monte Cristo or a special Romeo for a big outfit, but that's like a regular production item and exclusive to their store. But to do something like this, where it's like a 300 one and done, it's not in their specialty program.
Yeah, and speaking of Kilimanjaro, if you're looking to advertise, so I'm sure you're aware of who Boston Jimmy is, right? Everybody knows Boston Jimmy and his son is climbing Mount Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
Wow,
this year. So
Lou Rothman, Lou Rothman climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
I had heard that, So and then so I believe Jimmy is raising money. I want to say for autism, but I'm not 100% sure. So he's getting with manufacturers, brand owners to have flags planted along the way. So you can buy a flag to be planted on Mount Kilimanjaro as they're climbing.
Now, Robert sent me a text message about this cigar, and we'll discuss it more in depth when he's on our show next Wednesday night. on our broadcast. But just to give you a little background, this wrapper is a San Andreas Negro. The binder is San Andreas Natural. Filler is 25% Corojo 99 Honduras, 25% Corojo 98 Nicaragua, 25% Broadleaf USA, and 25% Piloto Cubano Lejero Dominican Republic. So this is like a smorgasbord of countries in this cigar. It's a
Wow.
It's a 6.5 by 48 short Churchill box pressed. So, and an interesting note, which I'll ask him about it when we're on do our broadcast, intended to be maintained at lower relative humidity, 60 to 64. I don't think I've ever seen a manufacturer say that about their cigar. Or he says simply dry box for a day or two versus removing from the humidor and removing the cello and lighting. So very interesting to get more in depth. I'll learn more about it when we get him on our broadcast when we drop the cigar next Wednesday. But it sounds like one hell of a blend.
Yeah, and we've actually got Robert on the show next Monday. You know,
so
well, we actually got Robert and Sharon. Sharon's going to join us too. So we're going to do another like couples type show. You know, so because I've never met Sharon, I've never interacted with her. Everybody said she's an absolute amazing woman,
lovely lady.
So can't wait on that.
That blend sounds delicious. So dang,
it does. Like I said, I'm definitely gonna get in on that. And then we wrap it up on March 1st with Ernesto Perez Carrillo. Another one. How did you get Ernie? I mean, he's stupid busy with all of his accolades and everything he's got. How did you get Ernie to make you guys a cigar?
Great Smoke has just now built that reputation that when we approach people now, I mean, thank God, it's not a burden. It's almost like they feel like it's an honor, like, it's something they really want to do. So I think we've kind of gotten that status where to now make a TGS release is like it's almost them being acknowledged, I think, on some level, or, they're happy, I mean, I didn't find out to talking to Alec and Bradley Rubin that when we didn't pick them year one or year two, like they got upset, or especially last year. They said because I don't know. I mean, I can only pick 5 people. We have 30 to 40 companies we invited to this event. So I'm trying to get everybody turns, in the loop that we could work with. And I'm like, I didn't even know it. So he said, man, when I finally called and asked them, they were like, yes. So I mean, I didn't even understand the psychology of that until I was talking with them. So. Yeah, when we went to Ernie, sometimes, like I said, Raphael, Ernie, I didn't think there were going to be yeses, but I learned early in life you have to ask. The worst thing to say is no.
Exactly, and then now it's to the point where they could justifiably see as a boost to their brand, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Before it's just like, hey, this guy needs X amount of cigars for this little event, whatever, we'll do it, but there's going to be no return on the investment. You're at to the point now to where, they make a good cigar, that's a return on the investment. That's going to bring repeat business.
And I think the Great Smoke now has, listen, if there's any guy who really has figured out the value of the Great Smoke and how to work it and wield it, it's Steve Saga.
Yeah.
He's made a limited release now for the first 3 years we've ever done it. He does not be chintzy at these events. He keeps finding ways to go above and beyond any other manufacturer there. And I think when you do stuff like that, you not only embrace the people. I mean, look, first you got to have quality product. So let's just get that out of the way. But after, I know a lot of people with quality product who don't know how to put it in people's hands and don't know how to sell it.
Yeah.
It's a lot in our industry. So this is a guy who really understands how to connect with the consumer base and is not shy and goes out there and does it. So, I think that they realize there are thousands of people, whether you bought a ticket or not, that are watching this and involved. So I think it's good exposure for everybody. I really do. And especially and so far we've been blessed. I don't think we've had one limited release that I felt was a dud. Some obviously sell a lot better than others.
Yeah.
None that I could tell you really I smoked and said this is awful. Because unlike our micro blend series, like we will get a lot of different blends and smoke and work through the process. We don't do this for this TGS releases. We ask them if they'd like to make something special. They say, yeah, they run with it. They make the packaging. They design it. We are not involved in that process of it, and so far I've really enjoyed everyone, just like anything else. I like some more than others. But There's not one that I've said, oh, man, I'm embarrassed we put our name on this.
It's like everybody's palate. Kerr, I mean, I mean, there are just certain manufacturers that just don't care for their cigars. And not that they're bad or anything. It's just not.
No, but sometimes there are projects where it's bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see it in Connoisseur Club, man. Sometimes there's just a consensus across the board. This was no.
It's I'm not going to mention the last Connoisseur Club.
Yeah, people aren't afraid to tell you on social media. So luckily, I've seen a lot of way more happy, excited people about the blends so far than hearing people who didn't enjoy one of them. So that's always something we strive for.
Yeah, is La Polina going to be at the Great Smoke by chance?
Not this year.
Not this year. I mean, Sammy's been ghosting me for 2 years to get him on the show. And I was hoping to corner him this year.
Imagine trying to organize a Great Smoke with him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good dude.
I love Sammy. I love me some Sammy, man. I really do. And listen, there's a lot of factors involved. One, honestly, everything is skyrocketed in the last 2 years. Cost, everything. Consumers have seen it in cigars. I mean, and we haven't raised ticket prices. I can't tell you, it's going to be 5 years plus, maybe at this point. And just with the way economy goes and people rent and gas and electric bills and whatnot, I just didn't want this to be the year to raise our ticket price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Most likely going to happen next year, but I didn't want this to be the year. So we looked at some of the companies that wanted to do the event, but don't really do the event. So I just thought it'd be more fun for everybody to tweak it down, cut back on the sticks. I don't think really anybody is going to be disappointed. They got 8 sticks less this year than they did last year, especially if you're coming live because there's so many bonus cigars you get there. You make up for it anyway. But I think cutting the sticks down and not increasing our ticket price was a more important factor for our consumer base than to raise the ticket prices this year. That was a decision, that was a call I made.
Yeah, and I know, like I said, you get 8 less sticks, especially if you're a fan of a manufacturer. These manufacturers are giving out extra cigars. Like I said, I know Terrence, a couple of the guys. It's like, oh, hey, they recognize you from social media. Here's a couple, here's a couple extra sticks. So 8 cigars less. Yeah, you're gonna get more than that back. So have you cut down? So obviously, if you cut down the sticks by 8, you cut down the vendors by 8.
Yes, that's what happened.
How did you make that call of who's getting cut, who hasn't? Is it based on past performance, or was it
Honestly, I chose people who really wanted to do the event. Look, there's something that happens when you do an event for 17 years. So first off, back when I started this event, I needed everybody's support. People didn't understand what I was doing. They didn't get it. And then I think there's a psychology with manufacturers. They feel compelled to support.
Yeah.
Right? They feel compelled to support the event. Some of them don't have the wherewithal. Some of them don't have the time, energy, efficiency, but now they feel compelled. So knock on wood, we've made the Great Smoke probably the best cigar event production out there. I mean, it's not just a herf, it's a production,
Yeah.
That your presence there is not the obligatory need of you supporting me is not really necessary anymore. So I just rather would work with a smaller handful of manufacturers who are really into it, who want to make a good GWP for the Great Smoke, who want to do a good raffle, who want to be there, who don't come with just one guy who stands there and does this to everybody. The principals show up, the principals are there. So, and there were a couple people who then questioned why they weren't there. And I sat with them and I said, look, here's what happened last year. You weren't ready. This was that. You don't really get involved as everybody else. And at the end of the day, this is how many boxes you ended up selling before. I had the report. You tell me why you want to do it. And then literally they were, yeah, I guess you're right. They're not looking at it as a opportunity anymore. They're just looking at something they have to do. And I really like things. Look, if I could create and do things that's really beneficial on both sides, they'll never want to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the key to it. And I think for some companies, it just really wasn't beneficial for them to be there.
Yeah, I remember our first Great Smoke. I remember going around and I for life of me, I can't, even if I did, I wouldn't say the name of it, but I can't remember who it was. But it was just someone. It was a rep on the phone, and it just didn't even look up. You just give him the ticket and he just hands you the cigar, and it's just
why do you want to be there? Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff I tried to weed out. We've never been about quantity over quality.
Yeah.
I really like to. I'm always about value. I live my life with value, so I like to offer value. But it's always about the quality. And I think weaning it down to companies that really want to be there, they're excited to be there. For a lot of these manufacturers, they'll tell you outright, this is their favorite event of the year.
Yeah.
So those are the people we want involved in the Great Smoke, because we just believe it'll make a better overall experience for everybody who comes or involved.
How big is the waiting list for like 2024? I'm sure you got manufacturers, especially like smaller guys, that want to like, hey, I want to come.
Listen, the smaller guys are always the problem. Okay. Most of these companies, if we didn't send them an invitation, they probably wouldn't ask us. They don't ask you until they hear it's coming up. Hey, what happened? I mean, it's the smaller guys, but they're not ready for it. We let a smaller company in against my own better judgment this year.
Yeah.
Really kind of made room for them. The booth size is supposed to be 30, but we made room for 2 more. We didn't raise the ticket price. And one of them was a big company who got a second booth. But the other one was this little guy. I don't want to say who it is because I don't know. But I literally said, don't do the event. I begged him not to do the event. Told him not to do the event. And guess who's struggling the most to get in and get things done?
I would,
I literally told him. I said, I think somebody told you not to do this event.
I'll text you later, but I got a bet on who that one is.
I get the compassion and the desire and the excitement of wanting to be involved. But one, as a guy who's doing 17 years, I'm telling you, you're not ready.
Yeah.
You don't want this headache.
Yep.
Because you'll be regretting it at crunch time. And he's got to listen to me now every day.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So speaking of Great Smoke 2024, any teasers? What's the I'm sure it's already in the planning stages.
Oh, are you kidding me? We got 2025 planned.
Oh, good God.
I'll tell you the date. The date's back in February 24th.
Is it?
Yes.
All right.
It's
right
24,
on.
It's on the 24th. How do you like that?
Now, because we moved it, or you moved it this year because of
I didn't move it. I had no choice.
Yeah, you had no. What Pure Support?
What was that?
Or no? What event was going on? Where you had or was it TPE? What else? What was going on that you had?
What happened was in 2022, we got a call late December, so literally 6 weeks from the event, asking me how I'd feel if they moved us from the main Acroplex buildings, 2 outdoor buildings that we've been doing it there now for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
To their upscale main exhibit hall. So my first response was, are you asking me or are you telling me? Because it's just a weird question. And they're like, no, or can I tell you? I'm like, what the hell? And some big outfit, some hot rod car racing outfit, paid them a lot of money. They took our event space from us.
Wow.
So they gave us a much nicer exhibit hall that literally would have cost us $20,000 more. But for me, it was nothing but a pain because I literally had all this layout plan set. I had this whole nice, beautiful setup that used to be in 2 buildings, Yeah. And I spent 17 hours trying to figure out how I'm going to get this now into 1 building.
Yeah.
Now, square footage wise is about the same, but I'm losing 4 sides. I had 2 buildings,
Oh, yeah.
So we lost a little bit of things that we could do, but when we set it up and we looked at it, even if you look at the video, if you go to thegreatsmoke.com and click on there, it just looked so much nicer.
I would never want to go back. As much as I loved the old place,
So-
now you've been in the big house.
How do you go back to the ghetto, right?
Yeah.
So really, they messed with my brain. So I'm looking at this event and I'm saying, all right, maybe I would do it here, but I said to myself, that's no smoking in that building. They're never going to let us back in here.
Yeah.
after this one event, they had to move me in there.
Yeah.
They never let me back in this building. And sure enough, like right after the Great Smoke, I asked them, would they have us back in that building? They said, sure. And we looked at dates, and February was already gone a year in advance.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we had to take it March 18th. So I already booked 2024 6-7 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Yeah.
So right on. Anybody watching, tonight, watching tomorrow, listening on the podcast this week, links in the video and or podcast description. You can definitely check out Great Smoke. Hopefully, we've given you all the answers to all the questions that you'll have. It's a fantastic event. Jessica and I mean, we're not doing TPE just because we want to do this event. I mean, we're not going out to Vegas because we'd have to choose between Vegas and Boynton Beach. And we chose, the Great Smoke over, going to Vegas and TPE. So that should tell you a little bit about how fantastic.
Yeah, I could care less about TPE. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, we yeah. So, but yeah.
If we didn't answer anybody's questions or you're not sure, just go to greatsmoke.com. There's a big thing in the left side. Click here for facts. I think we're pretty good at covering almost everything that you may want to ask.
Yep, and then follow because the broadcast next week, that'll be on the Smoke In Facebook page, not the Socialite page, but the actual.
We share it to we do it out of the Smoke In page.
Yeah,
we share it to the Socialite page or
share it on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, on the YouTube channel. Yeah. So.
Okay, so definitely watch next week. I'm sure they'll be talking more about the Great Smoke, answering any other questions that you may have. Definitely get in on that the Southern Draw giveaway or the cigar release. And then, like I said, next Monday night we'll have Robert and Sharon Holt of Southern Draw Cigars on. So we'll be promoting the Great Smoke again. We've got Michael Herklotz coming on in a couple weeks, so before the Great Smoke. So we'll be.
Hey, you got the whole TGS crew coming on.
Yeah, we got the whole. Like I said, we definitely want to promote it as much as we can.
We appreciate it.
Try and get
and
you
of course,
as much.
love seeing you guys. People don't know this, but you were a vendor at the Great Smoke.
I was.
Yeah.
We were a vendor for a couple.
I tell
for a
Kevin
couple
all
of
the
years.
time that I miss the old space a little bit, only because of the fact that is where we started.
Yeah.
When we were vendors, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. And
Did you enjoy it more as vendors or as consumers?
No, it was weird the first year just being a consumer. And plus Kevin was injured.
Well, yeah. So the first year, it was the virtual. So there was no vendors.
That's right. And
Last year, I was on crutches.
Yeah.
You were a vendor at the disco one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I thought you'd stop before that. Okay.
No. So it was just the virtual event is when we stopped
Right.
doing it, and then I was on crutches last year, and then so this year I really wanted to come back. I just want to experience the Great Smoke in person once, no crutches, just no virtual, just hanging out with everybody.
Jess, don't let him do anything dangerous for the next 2 months.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
trying.
I definitely not doing that. Workers' comp keeps a tight tabs on what I'm doing and what I'm not doing. So there's no dangerous things. So, Abe, thank you, man. I can't believe it's been over 2 hours already.
Wow.
Just
It went fast,
crazy.
man.
It
My
did go
pleasure,
fast.
guys. And honestly, thank you for letting me come on and talk to everybody and answer whatever questions. Always appreciate it.
Oh, thank you very much. And then we'll see you next Wednesday night during the broadcast with Southern Draw.
Peace,
So-
everybody.
See you.
Take care, Abe.
All right.
I
So,
love that Mark.
oh yeah, thank you, Mark. So everybody, start typing in the word cigar so we can get our giveaway. But in the meantime, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Corona Cigar. All right, Kerr. Sorry, I had a question. Kerr, do you have any questions for our guests before we let them go?
No, I mean you were very thorough. I was just sitting there just listening, to all the great events. I mean, he obviously has been doing it for a long time, but he really knows how to put together an event where it's an experience for all who are the consumers and purchasers, the folks who are attending.
Exactly. And like I said a couple of times, I said, if you can't come to the main event or the ticketed Red Meat Lovers Club or the ticketed brunch, please, if you're in the area, just come down. If you're anywhere within 8 hours of the event, I would say come down, hang out. It's a great time at Boynton Beach.
I had fun watching it the last 2 years virtually. I drove over to Daryl's house. We hung out. We got the virtual package, and just sat there and smoked cigars and had some drinks and just enjoyed that because we weren't able to make it.
Yeah, exactly. So anybody, like I said, if you can't come down, like and you're wherever, definitely get together a little watch party with your buddies or get with your local lounge and find out if they'll host a watch party. So it's time for the Tapping Ash and Taking Names giveaway presented by Amendola Family Cigars. All right, let me share this screen here, and all right, start collecting comments. 33. Let's go ahead and draw. I think Carlos Mendez. He's the only person that cannot win tonight because he won last week. So Quentin Nation. So send me an email, Kevin at cigarprop.com. You're going to win this is the January 2023 premium cigar of the month club from Corona Cigar. Got a Tatuaje Tuxla, AJ Fernandez New World Dorado, a Davidoff Dominicana, Monte Cristo Espada, and an EP Carrillo Allegiance. This is a crazy pack. MSRPs of $242, $227, $224. So shoot me an email, Kevin at cigarprop.com.
I didn't see that Jess and Elizabeth were on. Hello, ladies.
Oh, I didn't have the comments pulled up. Yeah. I had so many things going up on screen. Next week, like I said, Robert and Sharon Holt of Southern Drawl Cigars. We're going to be the four of us, Jess and I, and Kerr and Jen will be on the show next Monday night. We're going to be talking with them. I know we had Robert on last year, but we've never had Sharon on. I've never talked with her, so I don't, we'll dive into their relationship. What?
Jen is now smoking cigars.
And Jen, Kerr's better half, is now an official cigar smoker.
Yes.
So I sent her
now sharing that.
Yes, you now share that.
You found the freaking fortress of solitude.
Yes. So all right. Let's see. Make sure you're following our guest tonight, Abe Dababneh, Smoke In, on all the social medias. Links are in the video description, podcast description below. Make sure you're following me, Cigar Prop, producer Jessica, Kerr Viajante of Stogie Road Cigars on all the social medias. Links in the show notes down below. Thank you once again to all of our show partners for making this happen each and every week. Thank you to JC Newman Cigars, CigarMedics, Amendola Cigars, We Are the Muscle, Veritas Cigars, Illusione Cigars, deep in flavor, deep in your mind, K by Karen Berger Cigars, Corona Cigar, and of course Drew Estate and Experience Acid. Kerr, some parting thoughts. That's it.
Out of the 380 some odd cigars, the Silent Green number 3 came in at like 230.
That's it. So we were on a list.
We were on a list that provided the cigars for a list.
So Silent Green, Stogie Road Cigars, VSR Cigar Fam, those are still available. So the Buddy Bundle. So if you didn't get the cigar that is sweeping the list across 2 lists now, across the nation.
2 of the blends.
That's it. 2 blends, 1 list. And so all right, everybody. We'll see you next week, and we'll leave you with a word from our show partners.